Hey guys, it's me, Gangplank Main from NA, and I'm making a video about the Conqueror build that I came up with when the preseason started. It's gotten a lot of negative feedback, and this video is to explain why you should run it, when you should run it, and how you should use it during laning phase. Now the runes are going to be shown on the screen. I would go Conquer with Inspiration second, and I went Tumber Tonic for this situation because I'll be going Corrupting Potion to Riven. The reason why I go Corrupting Potion into Riven is because you just will constantly fight with her. I feel like you should do the same with champions like Aatrox, Aurelia, and some other bruises, but my memory is kind of hazy. But this game I'm going against two Scouting Ground players, which is Brahmin Darius and Tomo. They're two really solid players, and Brahmin Darius is playing his second most played champion, which is Riven, and I think this game's like a really good example of just how you can just dominate even though making mistakes. If you didn't notice before, I actually made one mistake in a trade, but I still won the trade. Was I used my passive auto on the minion instead of on Riven. I still won the trade, but I lost it. At the moment you saw that trade right there, I autoed Q'd her and I have 4 stacks. Now, the way you will play this is you try Q your opponent, and then you should try to keep the stacks alive by just queuing them again or using your barrels, because they last for 8 seconds. So if you were to queue them again, you had your fervor stacks or conquer stacks for a total of 16 seconds. And then if you queue them again, you have that extra AD for another 24 seconds, or a total of 24 seconds. I wait out her shield and I queue her. I'm just destroying her right now. I'm just winning a lot of these trades, and I'm getting like all this extra raw AD, and GB can kind of get away with that, right? Because he's kind of like a range if you think about it, right? He's melee, but also range with his Q and his barrels. He could just poke you from afar. And if Gangplank is able to get to preserve those stacks, like, oh, it's just insane. His Q does extra damage, his passive does extra damage. So you would usually play around your barrels, and your passive, and you just do so much damage. So right there, Riven took a lot of bad trades and eventually turned out to be a dive, and it's just, at this moment, Riven's just doomed. I'm so far ahead. I think I get Sheenan's back. Actually, no, I do. And then I also make a really ballsy TP play that end up me solo killing her. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for you to do this. I would recommend a lot of people to do this, because you should lose 100%. But I decided to chance it and just worked out. I mean, this is a really stupid play. So I barrel first, get the Sheen proc, I outer her with one of my passive, and then I place another barrel, and then I outer her twice. And you see how I got Conqueror? It's insane. But I got Conquered, fully stacked. That's I don't know how much AD, probably 8 to 10 extra AD. That's a lot. That's a lot of total damage with my Q and my passive, and I got 3 passive procs on her. So that my passive does how much damage? 95. I think I was level. I was actually. I think it's a little bit less because I was level 4. I teamed into lane to level 3. Now I'm level 5. I just got 2 level lead somehow, but I just gained 2 levels somehow. But I think I did a total of 240 true damage to her if you just use your passive correctly, and I used a stream proc on her. So now she's just doomed. It's I think this lane's just over. I think, if I remember correctly, I made another mistake of bad back timings, but I feel like this game was just so snowball. It just didn't matter at all. So right now she's level 4. I could just poke her in the tower, just place a barrel over here. She tries to go up to farm. It's just so insane. I don't like to place a barrel over here and try to only use one barrel, because if they break that barrel and you use your Q, then you can't really do anything for the next 5 seconds or 4 seconds. So using 2 barrels is alright. I think my jungler pinged that enemy jungler could be there, but then they just did dragon. So once I saw they did dragon, I was like, oh, I can just stay. But here's one mistake I think is I didn't back on this wave. And then I think I pushed this wave and still didn't back. Even though I could get like a good item buy. Like, I couldn't get Phage. I think I was just being greedy for Phage. But I was like, I think a few gold off. Yeah, I was. I could have just stayed in base, you know, maybe with 50 gold, or even getting tabbies, and pink was really good. But I think my reason why I stayed here is because we know the jungle's bot side and my jungle's top side, so we can just set up another dive. And I think that's what eventually happened. So I guess this play worked out. So yeah, I see my jungle wants to go for this. I see Riven's backing right here, so I ult to stop her back, and then she's just doomed. So after this, she's 0-3. Like, yeah, she's just dead. 0-3. She's just so extremely fucked. Like what do you do as Riven when you're this behind? I think Riven's like feast for famines in my opinion. Like, the only way you can come back is if you just do team fights all the time. But in this situation, when you're going against Gangplank and you're behind against Gangplank as Riven, like, it's actually just doomed. So at this point of the game, I'm just 100% disrespecting Riven. Like, I mean, the TB play was already disrespected enough, but after this, it's just, I didn't really care. Like, I knew this game was over. I knew I could 1v9 this game. Because the best part about the Bruiser build is that you can be in the enemy's face, do damage, and you're just unkillable. Like, they can't do anything about it. Like, what can he do when like a beefy Gangplank walks up to you and just does so much damage? Like, you legit can't. Like, a lot of people will say like, oh, this is like really stupid. Like, you're not going crit, right? I actually had a few people say this is not how you play GP, but this is one of GP's many playstyles. Back in season 7, Monkey was just made Bruiser Gangplank popular, where he would go Titanic Hydra. And everyone treats him like God, like treats him like a god, you know, because he is like really good at Gangplank. Like, I think Alice said it where I think Faker or Dopa would say every time they go against his GP, the game's just 10 times harder. And like, literally, when Faker or Dopa says your Gangplank makes the games harder, like, honestly, you know what's going on, you know, like, you know what's up. Like, the old GP Bruiser build was the old Gauge, Titanic Hydra, Spirit Visage, and all that stuff. Not those build exactly, but sometimes it was actually really good to go that build. And I'm kind of happy that, I'm actually kind of happy that this build came back. Because there's many situations where I wanted to go Bruiser build during Season 9, but you legit just couldn't, because it just wasn't as good, you know? And the kind of the worst part about it is that I felt like Conqueror was pretty good in Gangplank, and my build was pretty good during Season 9, but the problem is that why would you go Conqueror when you can just go Klepto or Grass? So another reason why this build just became popular, in my opinion, is that the removal of Klepto, GB kind of lost a good rune for him, you know? Like, it's hard to generate gold for him, I guess, even though he has a really good gold generation with his Q. But the loss of Klepto is just really just, I don't know. It's depressing, in my opinion. It's such a fun rune, but the rune is 100% unhealthy for the game. Like, you cannot tell me that Kleptomancy was good for the game. Like when you go against every time I go against Kayle, they literally generate like 800 to 1,000 gold a game. Like, is that healthy? No. And that's just from a rune. I mean, Gangplank can do that with his Q, but like, imagine Gangplank generated 1k gold from Klepto. By that time, I'm pretty sure Gangplank also generated like 1,500 gold with his passive. So he generated 2.5k gold into the game, just because, which is extremely absurd. So, let's see. I think I have Triforce at this point. Triforce, Corrupting Potion. Yeah, I'm just insane. I think I was playing back because Xerath was coming, but here comes like a outplay that I did. So I see Xerath. I juked his W. I juked his Z. I placed a barrel, flash, auto, Q, he's dead. And then I think I misplayed by not running to the right to my jungler, but it's okay. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes this game. I could learn from, you know. I think I made like around like 5 or 6 mistakes. Which is fine, it happens, you know. But as long as you learn from them, you can improve. But yeah, I don't know. I decided to go Gage, but I think later on I just had so much gold I just went Death Stance. Death Stance is pretty much like the bread and butter of this build. Like the reason why I decided to come up with this build is that if you guys remember the old Pantheon would go you know, Conqueror, I think Black Cleaver and like Death Stance, or maybe Death Stance first. I don't remember, but I remember they went Death Stance and they were just unkillable god. Like I remember when against Keegan, he would go this build all the time, and my first thought was, damn, he does damage. He's kind of like a bruiser, and he's just unkillable. And I was like, I think Gangplank could do that too. The build was also inspired by a viewer of mine where he told me to go Death Stance, and I actually fucked around with it, and I also went Conqueror with Domination second for the increased healing. I had fun with the build, but again, that build was just not good enough for that season because, again, why would you go Conqueror when you can go Klepto or Grass? Now, a lot of people, I remember reading the comments, will say, well, why would you go Conqueror when you go Fleet Footwork? Well, Fleet Footwork is not... It's not good into Riven. Why would you go Fleet Footwork into Riven when you can go Conqueror and get those raw stats? You're constantly fighting with her. You don't want to... You can actually beat Riven as Gangplank, in my opinion. Gangplank can hard destroy Riven pre-6. I don't understand why a lot of people hate Riven. A lot of people also hate Jax. GP destroys Jax early. And look at this fight. I'm like, I think I destroyed her too. Yeah, like I don't know, what can she do? But Fleet Footwork, I think, is only good into Rumble, and Victor. A lot of people will disagree with me, but those are just two matches that seem unwinnable for me. I know that I talked to some high-elo Gangplank players, Solobaka and TC Porch. They're saying that Omnistorm might be good against them. I don't really think so. I don't want to try it, to be honest, because one, I don't want to go against those two champions. I'm pretty sure everyone knows why. Those two champions are just not fun to play against. And I feel like the rune is just kind of pointless, because why would you go a rune that gives you like RNG of different runes when you can literally just choose what rune you want? Like, sure, you can chance and be like, oh wow, I got Predator, you know, I can do this, or wow, I got Dark Harvest. I'm like, yeah, that's cool and neat, but I would just rather have a consistent rune rather than RNG it. So my best advice when you go this build is that you don't really trade with the Q that often. It's more like it's just there, and then when the fight occurs, you can proc it so fast. Now, the reason why is because you can just you get 2 stacks with your barrels, and you can get 2 stacks from your ultimate. Now, you don't get multiple stacks on how many people you hit with your ultimate, and your Conqueror doesn't stay longer. If your ultimate continues hitting a person, it just stays the same. Now, you also don't get multiple stacks if you hit multiple people with your barrel. But oh, here comes a bait that I got for Suntail. I hugged the wall because I know she wants a QR, and then yeah, we just got a double kill. Kind of forgot what I was saying. Again, my shit memory is kicking in. But so matches you go Conqueror will be Bruisers. Renekton will be pretty good. Riven will be pretty good. I think Bruisers that rely on cooldowns. I mean, I guess Aatrox would be pretty good, but Grass. I have to test it out more often, but some matchups, I think if you go Conqueror and Jax, it might be pretty bad. I think it's actually pretty bad if you go Conqueror against Jax, because you need to add pressure. Maybe Conqueror against York is actually really good. I know Solobaka told me about it, but I think he was playing Flex Q. Now when to go Grass, I'll go probably Grass into ranged champions. like Kennen, Vladimir. I actually think you can go Conqueror against Vladimir too, because the thing with Kennen is that he still has his autos and he can still be an annoying piece of shit. But with Vladimir, if he were to use his Q and E, like, he can't do anything. What his autos is gonna do? Probably proc phase rush, and he's just gonna run away. But if you hit Vladimir with a barrel, you can always follow that up with a passive Q and just run him down. And usually, when you can run down people with GP, like, you can, like, imagine you with Conqueror. Like, if you watch me play against Vladimir, you would notice that when I hit them Vladimir's with a barrel, level 2, I run them down. Imagine me with Conqueror. It would just so much raw damage. So I think my build, I have Distance right now, and I'm just God at this point. And then at this point, I just fuck around. I just don't care. The score's 5-16. If you throw the game we throw, it's preseason. Who gives a shit? I already tested out this rune. I tested it out on my main account. I really griefed like through those games because I just fucked around. But this game I want to try hard and actually test it out, and it's just working out amazingly. I get outplayed here eventually, but then again, you know, I'm just preseason fun, dude. And then just dead. Nice. But I don't understand why a lot of people dislike this build. I feel like not many people are open-minded to changes. I feel like that's what separates good players from bad, is that they're not willing to adapt. A lot of people are still upset that Lethality's not good or Stormers isn't that good. So it's just, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, some people are hard stuck and some people will just improve. And I feel like a lot of people who use this build could actually potentially climb in solo queue. I think this might be like a temp elo build, to be honest, because this is just kind of brain dead. Like, it's like you don't have to rely on crit, because when you go crit your class cannon over here, you're literally meathead. You can just run into them and just kill them. But I got a lot of good feedback from a lot of players from this build, and I strongly suggest you guys try it. Like, honestly, like, I feel like D-Blitz start is actually pretty good with this build, just because that you don't have to go you don't have to poke them with Q. You just go Biscuits, and that's it. But yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this convinced you. Peace.